Good evening, everybody. It's Charlie, and welcome back to another stream on the Chatting Leeds YouTube channel. Just before we get into it, as always, make sure you're smashing that like. Please subscribe to the channel if you are brand new and hit the notification bell. And of course, get all of your thoughts and opinions into the live chat as we go along. As you can see, I'm joined by Darren and Dilo from Only Leeds Bros. Darren, we'll come to you first, mate. How are we? All good?
Yeah, really good. Thanks very much for having us on, Charlie. Pleasure to see Chatting Leeds is back up and running, and pleasure seeing you doing back what you do best. And I said, yeah, thanks very much for having us on. Pleasure coming on to have a chat with you, even though it's not in the best of circumstances, like what we said off air, but it's great to be here to have a chat with you, buddy.
Dilo, how's things, mate? All good? Apart from Leeds, how are we?
All right, thanks for just reassuring me there, Charlie. I'm all good. Apart from the Leeds, all good. Busy day as usual. In my job, it never stops. But other than that, good. Glad to see that you're back doing a little bit.
Yeah. And I think we discovered off air that I was the first person that you watched, which was a little bit.
Yeah, when I first started watching Leeds content creators, I didn't know what it was, to be fair. And Darren just says to me, "You watch such and such, Joe, Jer, anyone?" No, but you kept coming up on my YouTube, so I started watching you. But then I was introduced to the mighty Joe Wayman and Jer, and the list goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
Now I'm one of them myself, so could pinch
myself. Exactly. You've joined the club, mate. You've joined the club. But yeah, so as Darren said, I wish it was under better circumstances, lads. But I guess we've got to talk about it. Well, yeah, there might be a sprinkle of positivity, but I think for the majority, it's just a rant session. So as we say, guys, make sure you're getting all your thoughts in the chat. We've got Matt in the chat. How we doing, mate? All good. So yeah, I mean, where do we start with that? I mean, I always like to start off with the lineup because that's how I kind of get a gauge of what I think is going to happen during the game, obviously. And I said in my preview, lads, I don't know about you two, but I thought he got it massively wrong in the midfield. And look, I get his way of thinking in terms of away games that can be a bit tighter. And I get that Gruev is a safer pair of hands, so to speak. You know, he cleans things up. But in terms of how we want to play, we want to be on the front foot. We want to be progressive. We want to show our dominance, especially in midfield with the players that we've got. And Darren will come to you first, mate. But I thought he got it horribly wrong starting Gruev against a team like Portsmouth. No disrespect.
Yeah, no, I agree with you, Charlie, 100%. Myself and Dylan have kind of started a new thing on our match build-up where we're going to try and predict the lineup for Daniel Fark, so not our own lineup that we want to see, the lineup that we think he's going to go with.
Yeah.
And I got it on the money, 100%. And I think we all probably knew as Leeds fans, really, as much as we all wanted Rotwell, I think we all knew it was going to be Gruev to come in, the partner, Tanaka there. So there was no real surprise when the lineup came out. There wasn't a sit back on, he's after starting Gruev. It kind of felt like it was going to happen. And I didn't agree with it whatsoever. Since Tanaka and Gruev have been playing together, I don't think it's been great. And I go back to that Burnley game away from home when it was the 0-0 draw. It was slow and it was drab in the middle of the park. And I just don't think they suit each other's style at all whatsoever. I think Rotwell and Tanaka are much better partnered in there together. So I think he got it wrong from the start. And then you're probably looking to Fark kind of thinking, you know, you've made a mistake. We all see that you can make a mistake.
Yeah.
Kind of have the guts at halftime to change it up and admit that you're wrong and whip Gruev off, or even Tanaka didn't have a great game either. So, yeah, it wasn't a great showing at all yesterday. And it was like what we said off air, lads. As Leeds fans, I think we all knew after the first 5 minutes, we just weren't at the races. And that was everyone. It goes to even the fullbacks as well. Jayden Bogle, I thought, was probably his poorest performance that we've seen in a long time from Jayden Bogle. I thought Firpo was Premier League Firpo again, letting the ball, run underneath his foot, heavy touches, poor passing. And then it even felt the same with Rodon and Strike, when we're usually kind of used to them kind of being solid and, kind of man that back line. It just felt very disjointed in the first 5 minutes and kind of smelled danger, didn't we?
Yeah, and, I think maybe maybe the fact that obviously Burnley and Sheffield United had won the day before maybe had a little bit of a impact on it. I'd like to think it wouldn't have, because at the end of the day, I think we've still got a job to do and we can't control what those teams do. But I've seen a few different fans say that, and I'm not sure if I'm on board with it. But Dilo, I said in my video that I did after the game yesterday that I felt I just felt that the home crowd had an impact, especially in that first half. You could hear it through the TV, how loud that atmosphere was. I don't know if maybe that had something to do with it, but after I saw that lineup, I think the writing was on the wall, mate.
Yeah, look, as Darren said there, I was kind of banging the drum for Rotwell to start, and as I said, not wanting to. That's what I base mine on. Obviously, went with the Gruev. Now, with that being said, Gruev has been very good when away from home at times, and then other times it's just been, especially lately, the last few, it's just been very disappointing. I think it all comes down to Farke's man management, if I'm being honest with you. As Darren said there, straight away off the bat, if he had to took the risk and brought, a half time, but he's too stubborn and he's not going to do that. So, I've said it too many times, but he's never going to change. But then, what I said to Darren leading up to the Sheffield United and Sunderland game, the games leading up to them, I was kind of saying we're getting late wins, we're dominant like the likes of Cardiff. We're just on flying form to build up this momentum to Sunderland and Sheffield United. And then, it wasn't great performance, but the dominance and just the general play and heart each individual player had to grind out them wins. And now it feels like it was a bit of a waste, considering whatever about West Brom, fair enough, you take the draw, when then losing against Portsmouth. Now, with that being said, you could say about the home crowd, they were phenomenal. Portsmouth played phenomenal. It was a difficult place to go to. But I've always said about the likes of QPR now, even Millwall, these are the games that I was very worried about. I wasn't worried about Sheffield United or Sunderland. And Darren can back me up on that. They're the type of game. I'm the type of person that I go, Leeds always put it up to the big dogs.
He said it to me, Charlie. He said, we'll beat Sunderland, Sheffield United, and we'll draw and lose to Portsmouth. He said it to me, and I was just like, you're a madman.
It's something, it's that pressure.
Winning them.
Yeah, it's just the pressure that the Leeds go. Yeah. I don't know. But it's getting to the point now where is it going to be a repeat of last season? The only bit of positivity that I can look at is, after last season, Rutter, when he got the hernia operation, he was jaded for rest of the season. No one was completely at it. We got a glimpse of hope, obviously, with Gruev's free kick against Norwich to, really kind of build that momentum again. But the only positivity now is the squad, like in the sense of the subs, is a bit more rounded and a bit better.
Yeah.
But that's the only positivity I can take from it going into the next couple of weeks. But something needs to be done quick and fast, because like a 5-point gap we had, and we're to just more or less throwing it away. Like it's gone like that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I said that after the game as well yesterday, that it's crazy to think that after the Sheffield United game, we're 5 points clear of them, we're 7 points clear of Burnley, and then in the space of 2 games, it's gone back to a 2-point gap. And yeah, I mean, I do think at times Farke is his own worst enemy. I think it can be very predictable, like you've said. I think we all knew that he wasn't going to make a change until 70 minutes. So when you see that lineup, you think, God, that's what we've got to watch for the next however long. But yeah, I felt the writing was definitely on the wall as soon as I saw that lineup. And like you said off air, first 5-10 minutes, you could just tell in the level of the performance. I don't know if it was complacency maybe as well, thinking that they were just going to just turn up and win easy. But yeah.
I think we showed them too much respect, Charlie, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I think that's what it was.
Maybe there's a bit of that. Yeah.
We should have had a bit of a dogness in us.
I wouldn't even say it was respect, Dylan, because I think when you have respect for someone, you show up, lads, don't you? when you have respect for someone.
True.
We didn't show up. I probably think the complete opposite, and I actually probably think a complete lack of respect probably for Portsmouth, that we just never showed up on the day, that we just thought we could turn up there and turn them over, and we could, only go at 50-60% and pick up 3 points, and you can't be doing that in this league. We know it, lads. We've been in the championship for so long, and any team on any given day can turn you over, and we always say it. We're everybody's cup final, and it's not being big-headed. You mentioned it, Charlie, the crowd down there. It was like their cup final. And let's be honest, they don't have nothing to play for. They're basically safe. 10 games to go, and they were the team that looked like the team that were chasing promotion, not Leeds. That's what I think is the worry for me. And as your captain said, should we be worried? Look, there's a lot of football left to be played, 10 games, but that's probably more than result. Look, we're going to lose games of football. It's only 4 losses this season. That's not bad. But what worries me the most is that we just didn't show up yesterday.
Yeah. I agree, mate. But I mean, obviously, the first main talking point of the game for me that I've noted down was the officials in the championship. I think are an absolute joke. I mean, again, I'm not saying it would have had any bearing on what happened in the game, but Dilo, I'll come to you first, mate. That was an obvious penalty, wasn't it, mate? How was it not given?
100%. Myself and Darren did talk about it off air. That's a Premier League referee. I mean, right inside that.
Premier League referee,
yeah.
So supposedly,
it's obviously, you could say to a certain degree, of referees being spoiled. I know that probably sounds weird when I say that, but reliant on VAR, and they can't make a decision. And the crowd gets behind them. Yeah. But it looked like he was going to blow the whistle for a split second.
Yeah, he did. Yeah,
so I think when you look at Dan James, I think he made it big. What I mean, to make a big deal about it, it's still a penalty before everyone gets going mad here. I think he made a bit more of a meal out of it than what it was, and maybe that's something that threw the ref off. The way that he jumped.
It was the way he kind of threw himself, wasn't it?
Himself, yeah.
Theatrical, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But it was still, regardless, it was still a penalty all day, every day.
I must admit, at first glance, when James kind of like took off in the air, I thought, I thought that's an awful dive, that. But then when it showed you it back, I was thinking, how is he not? And he's in perfect. You can see it. There's no player blocking him. He's got a perfect view, and he's just completely disregarded it. But as you said, he is a Premier League ref. But I think last week he didn't do a Premier League game, so he did a Sunday League game apparently, and I think he's carried his Sunday League refereeing into that, because that was. I mean, Darren talked to me, mate. I mean, it was just shocking, wasn't it, that decision?
Yeah, like that. We were obviously speaking that we went into Dublin yesterday, so we're fellow Leeds fans. It was about 30, 40 of us all together. And
yeah,
as it happened, the incident happened, I don't think one Leeds fan were like, no, it's not a penalty. We were all, how's it not giving it? It's a Stonewall penalty. He's a Premier League referee. And then kind of the general kind of conversation is, with him being a Premier League referee, Charlie, was it a thing where he's very reliable now on VAR, that he knew?
Yeah.
Subconsciously, like, I don't really have to make a decision here, and then realise, no, geez, I do. There's no VAR to kind of help me out here. Hasn't made referees lazy. I probably think so as well, that they're kind of relying on VAR a little bit too much. But like what you said, it's a Stonewall penalty. The only reason I think that he probably doesn't give it, and like what you said there, Charlie, it's a split second moment. I think James probably makes a little bit too much of it. I don't think he had to go down the way he did. He definitely did get clipped, but I don't think he hurt him that much to do that much of a theatrics. If you kind of get where I'm coming from, and I think that's probably what swayed the referee to not give the penalty, and then probably seeing it back later on that day and said, it was Stonewall. But that's the only reason why I think it couldn't be given. But yeah, poor officiating. Even throughout, lads, I think penalties aside as well, I thought some of the decisions that he made, some of the fouls were very, very soft, especially against Leeds, and it seems like we just get shit refs, doesn't it?
There was the Melier. There was the Melier incident as well. Where, I mean, how that is not at least a yellow card?
It's borderline red, isn't it? Like it's borderline. If he catches Melier there,
borderline. Yeah, it's borderline red, but it's at the very least a yellow card. The fact that he
just
didn't get
well, like as soon as it happens, Charlie, he's like this. He's telling everyone to calm down, and you're like, "What do you mean calm down?" Like he's just gone in, studs up to the goalkeeper. So you kind of knew then from then that he wasn't really going to book him, and then. Yeah, when it played on, you're scratching your head thinking, like what you said, how is it not even a minimum, a yellow card? It's borderline.
I think as well, obviously, as we're talking about officials and stuff, I think Matt makes a good point here. that a big problem is, I think, without Ampadu in the team, I think if Ampadu's on the pitch at the point of that penalty decision, he's in the ref's face and he's giving it a bit, and at least
Good show, Charlie.
But nobody really. I mean, Firpo had his arms up a bit, but other than that, there wasn't any great appeal, was there really? And maybe that kind of played into his decision making as well. I don't know what you think, Dilo. Do you think that could be the case?
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I think that's a fair point that Matt has there. Especially Stroke, like he's vice captain, but he's not very vocal. I don't think at times Ampadu probably goes missing as well. But it might have something to do with the ground, going back to the ground. Might hear bills. You just wouldn't know. Like at the end of the day, not giving any respect to the ref, but these decisions are going to pop in and out of his head. And look, as we said, the whistle was in his mouth. He was ready to blow it for the penalty, and then the one with Melier. As Darren said there, like he's trying to calm everyone down. He could have broke his leg. Like you were telling everyone to calm down. So yeah, it's just I just genuinely think exactly what Darren was saying there. It's just being lazy, reliant on VAR. I don't want to say that because we're Leeds, everyone's out to get us, but it kind of seems like that at times,
I still think though, lads, that we do kind of have to do our own job as well, and I think it's probably something that we've come used to this season, isn't it, lads? The level of officiating in English football has taken a nosedive massively ever since VAR came in. I think it's impacted the whole football pyramid, but again, that's a deeper conversation for another day. But I still think it's up to Leeds United to go out there as 11 players to do their job on the pitch at the end of the day. Like, the referee's not the one getting the mix up between Rodon and Melier. The referee's not the one playing short passes. The referee's not the one that's lethargic. So the players do have to take a lot of the blame. And probably for the first time this season, lads, all the 4 losses that we have, the previous 3, Fark got a lot of heat. If you remember, after Burnley, after Blackburn, Fark was getting a lot of heat. Probably for the first time yesterday, Fark didn't get the heat as what he used. And I think fans probably realised that the players just didn't do themselves any justice at all yesterday.
Yeah, and I think the reason why he's maybe not getting as much stick as what he has done is because at the end of the day, he can only do so much, can't he? And I think it's up to the players to go out and do the job, as much as we're, as an example, as much as we're on about Gruev, it's still upon him to go out and at least perform to the best of his ability. And I just don't think him and a lot of them did that yesterday. And, another player that was quite off it, which, I think usually if you'd like a chance to fall to someone in the box, it would be Joe Perreault. But yesterday, for some reason, it just wasn't his day. I mean, the first one in the first half, I have sympathy with him in a sense of I think he probably thought he was offside, even though he wasn't. He's just took a swing at it. And to be fair to the keeper, he's made a good save there. But the one in the second half, lads, Solomon rounds the keeper, does all the hard work. I actually felt in real time that Solomon could have maybe had a shot off himself, potentially.
Better touch, but, Charlie.
Yeah, but then obviously takes it around the keeper, he does everything right. And again, the person you want there is there. And it just goes over the bar. I mean, I think at that point, Dilo, I was like, yeah, this just isn't happening today. It's just not happening.
Me and Darren are going to been saying, what does Perreault bring to the table? And that's usually what it is. He's a natural goal scorer. Every time that he is, every time that he's in the 10, I do be like, no, don't want to see it. But the last few games that he has dropped in, he's done all right. He's looking more comfortable on the ball. He wants it. There's still at times with James going to put it across the box, and Perreault's not even in the box yet. It takes me a bit of time to get there. But like his general all-out play has been very good. And then, look, as you said, the one man that you would want to go, and he missed 2 of them. So, not overly pleased with Perreault, to be quite honest with you, at the minute. And Darren knows, like, you can see it there above my head, Perreault's my main man, and he let us down yesterday. I think really should be putting them away. With that being said, I'm going to stick up for him a little bit. Many sitters and penalties as Patrick Bamford missed.
That is true.
So,
I think if it was
the second one,
sorry,
the second one, lads, I don't know if you've seen it. Go ahead, sorry.
just to add to that, if that was Bamford who missed that, he'd have been absolutely crucified as well.
Yeah.
So,
but, imagine if he missed both.
Go on, mate, what were we saying?
Seeing, you obviously follow LUFC. Lewis has seen that he put up on Twitter today, so he obviously videos the games. But he has a very close up of that chance for Pirro when Solomon rounds the goalkeeper. The defender actually gets a toe on the ball before Pirro connects with it.
Yeah, I've seen
so
that.
Not again, like that. not again. Look, yeah, he should be kind of. We should have been doing better there. It was a nice break.
So
Solomon should have done better. Should have been a better.
Still should have scored, in my opinion. Still should have scored it.
Solomon should have scored. We should have scored there. But that's the only thing where I look, because it looked awful in real time that he got a full strike on the ball and blazed it over the bar. But just the defender putting that little bit of pressure on can do enough, and he did. So it's more so the first one in the first half. He should be putting that away. Anywhere bar where you hit it, it's in the back of the net.
Something that I've kind of noticed after, on the highlights and stuff as well, for the second one where Solomon rounds the keeper, it's not being spoken about. I think Dan James could release that ball a bit earlier as well. I think he hesitates initially. I think he might think Solomon's offside, so he maybe waits a second. I think if he plays it in straight away, he's got a better angle where he could probably take the shot off himself. But again, it's all hindsight. It's all ifs and buts. And I get it's a split second thing, and you're in the moment, and I understand that. But as we got into half time, then lads, I don't know about you, but sub should have been made then for me. It was clearly evident in that first half that we were just lacking that creative spark from obviously the lack of it from a certain American individual who is also getting quite a bit of flack at the minute. And I'll be honest, I'm on board with it. I think it's such a weird one because his numbers are actually decent in terms of when you look at his goals and assists. But since the turn of this year, I think he's scored one goal, and that was in the Cardiff game. Other than that, pretty anonymous. I think his lack of football IQ in certain moments, his decisive passing. I think he looks like a deer in the headlights sometimes when he gets played through. And I've seen a lot of people say, he works hard, he runs about, but again, I hate to sound like Roy Keane, but that's his job. Like, that's what he's there to do. But he's not.
That's the minimum, Charlie, isn't it?
And it's just he hasn't got the end product at the minute. So, if you were Fark, Darren, in terms of Aronson, how do you move forward for the rest of the season? Because I think we all know he's going to stick with him because we haven't really got another number 10, so to speak. But how would you deal with it if you could?
I think I'll bring it back to November time, Charlie, when myself and Dylan started talking about the January transfer window coming up, and we know Farke wanted one when wanted a 10 when the summer window ended, and he came out probably the first time we seen him vocally, kind of out in the 49ers. He, again, another little kind of dig today in the press conference when he spoke about the money that we made. I think that was a little bit of dig at the 49ers as well. But going back to that, Charlie, I think it was a massive mistake from the 49ers and the club that we didn't go get a number 10 in January. And the reason why myself and Dylan were saying it was the eventuality of this happening. Aronson's not used to playing a 46-game season, and especially at the intensity that he has been playing at. He's been absolutely brilliant, and there's no denying when Brendan Aronson is on it that he is an asset to this Leeds United team, and that's when he's on it.
Absolutely,
but like what you said, Charlie, since the turn of the year, he's been completely anonymous. I think it's 12 starts, and like what you said, 1 goal, no assist. It's really not good enough for a number 10, which is so-called meant to be that creative position in the team, and he's anything but. And I think the last 4 games, Sunderland, Sheffield United, West Brom, and yesterday was probably his worst one out of the whole lot. It's been poor, but I don't blame him, Charlie. I think Farke has absolutely flogged him. And there's times where games are home and host, and he could probably take Aronson off, 65, 70 minutes, and he doesn't.
He's played nearly every minute, hasn't he?
Nearly every minute this season. When games are home and host, he's still leaving him on the football pitch. So I do think Farke does have to take a bit of a blame for that one as well. Like what you said, I don't see him rotating it, and I think that's probably going to be an issue there if he has another stinker again. Wednesday against Millwall. Surely something has to change then. But look at you, there's no plan B, and it feels like then we're experimenting then, doesn't it? Like if everyone kind of says, "Oh well, try Ramazani in there, try Solomon in there, try Nanto in there." You're experimenting then with 10 games to go, and are you going to take that risk?
They're not natural in that position either, and it's a vital.
It's a risk.
Yeah, and it's a vital part of the season as well, isn't it, Dilo? I mean, I think Darren's hit the nail on the head there. I think it could be the fact that he has just been severely overplayed and he's not had that competition to to keep him on his toes a bit. Do you think that could be it, mate?
Well, like regardless of like you look at when Stroud got injured, Ampadu was the first person to go in for that cover. Yeah. Same with the midfield when we got Tanaka, and you've wrote well. Kilavogi does a job when's needed. There's no one in that 10 apart from Pirro.
No.
Pirro's the only one that's slotted into that 10. And yeah, well, that's what I was literally about to say, and what Darren said there. It's as simple as this, lads. I'm the first person, Darren will tell you, to be crucial and more or less go through someone straight away. Like, I do become a bit of a hot-head. And at times, Aronson has really boiled my blood. But to be fair, he's done all right, to be fair. He really has. He didn't do well yesterday, obviously, but he's knackered. He's pure knackered, like. He's running around like a pure headless chicken for, 70 minutes. Nothing happens. No one else does their job. And then he's going to get the backlash of it. I don't think it's
I think
right.
Like at the start of the season, lads, it was effective. His pressing was effective. It was structured. He knew when to press. He knew when to hold off. He knew kind of what way to press, and it was working from and goals and assists. And of course, that breeds confidence. But it feels like now, I was just watching him there for a period yesterday, and it just feels like now he is just kind of running for the sake of running. That the runs that he's making aren't even effective. He's just doing it because he's just trying to find some form again.
Yeah.
And I do feel a little bit sorry for him, but he's making a run. He's closing down a player that he hasn't got a hope of getting to the ball, and it's a little bit kind of like there's no need to do that there. You're burning more energy, when you're not even going to get anywhere near that ball by putting that press on. So I think it probably shows a sign of a player that's low in confidence and probably lacking a little bit of quality at the minute. Exactly what you said, Charlie. I'd love to have an option there. To take him back out. I'm not saying, take him out for the season and drop him and, let him go, because I do think he's very effective in this team when he's at his full best. I do think he's very, very good. But we haven't got that luxury at the minute. So, unfortunately, it looks like we're going to have to stick with him.
I just think as well, if we did have that other option to maybe start games, imagine how effective he would be off the bench with a tired defence and his pressing and his running.
Yeah.
But
either way, Charlie, isn't it? Either way, whether he's starting or coming on the game, it could be effective, yeah.
It's the same with Joseph, though. Like, I know he hasn't done a whole lot, Joseph, but when he does come on, he gives you that press. He runs, like, at times. Yeah, no, he's definitely not the answer. I'd never start him around. But what I'm saying is, these players are coming on. It's something that we didn't have last season.
Yeah.
We're obviously going to touch on Ramazani and Nanto. It's kind of a bit let down between the subs coming on that they're not making an impact. Don't mean you need to score a goal or an assist, but just that flair and heart. Kind of, to be fair, the way DJ has been all season. Just wears his heart on his sleeve and he does the running that needs to be done and just doesn't give up. But that's, to be fair, that's why Aronson is. He just runs around like a hellish chicken at times. You don't really know what he's doing. But I don't know. It's just it definitely needs some sort of. We do need a 10. That's for sure. If we're planning on getting out of this league or staying in the Premier League next season, if we go up.
Yeah.
Could be a shining light though, lads. I know as Leeds fans, we're always going to be sceptical and we'll look back to this stage last season when we crumbled. But I suppose you have to look at the last time that we lost to Blackburn, we went on a 17 game unbeaten run. So you probably have to try and more so look at that side of it. That notoriously under Daniel Farke, we do bounce back and we do kind of go again, and we have done this season. And we always remember as well, Bielsa as well, when we first came back, I think it was the loss against Cardiff when we were on that final run to promotion.
Yeah.
Sometimes a loss is a good thing, lads, and I know it's mad saying that, but sometimes you learn more from a loss than what you do from your win. So maybe it's probably the kick up that they need, because we obviously, again, Charlie said off air, it wasn't the best performance against Sunderland. We get out of jail and it kind of papers over the cracks a little bit because the elation that we all have. Sheffield United as well, I thought we were very, very poor against Sheffield United. We get out of jail. And then West Brom as well. That was the first kind of showing that our performances are really dropping here and we're getting out of jail. And then yesterday we just didn't. And you can't keep performing like that and expecting to pick up results. So hopefully it's just a little light in shining, and we get back to winning ways with 10 games to go, and probably just the kick up that they need to, don't be lackluster and don't be kind of resting on your laurels. It's not over yet.
It's very frustrating though, because I've kind of been saying it as well throughout the season. Where is Plan B? That's where I am with it. Come the 70th minute when it's simply not good enough. it's too slow. You can see players that are getting battered in the middle of the park.
Yeah.
The ball's getting passed back to Melier. He's all giving us heart palpitations at times. It's just no need for it. Like we're meant to be, we're top of the league. So why aren't we showing and playing every team that why we are Leeds United and why we are top? And I think it's based on, as I said, where is Plan B? Because you can't just rely on the 70 minute and hope that someone's going to come on and get a goal and we're going to get across the line, that kind of way. Well, I don't know, lads. I'm a bit worried now coming into Millwall and QPR. I'm not going to lie.
It kind of felt like that, Dylan, as well towards the end when Nanto came on as well for Gruev towards the end. It kind of felt like again like another kind of Hail Mary from Fark, didn't it, Charlie?
Yes,
that
yeah.
no, didn't feel like a kind of structure to it again. That it felt like kind of Norwich last season and at times this season when we're losing games that we kind of just try and throw
all the attackers on and just
get on there and try to get a goal. And then
the 49ers are like that. Just like,
It could be worse, it's worse because then it's not very structured, just people getting in the way of each other. And then we were very, very unbalanced then when Nanto did come on, and it's no fault of his own, but it just felt like everyone was then kind of on top of each other, obviously trying to force the goal. So it's one of them, lads. Like it never really felt like it was going to be our day, wasn't it? When you obviously see the penalty not given, the chances that we missed, the poor goal that they scored, and let's be honest, they probably should have had a second through Murphy as well. Brilliant effort, and the one off the post as well. So it's one of them. 4 losses in the season, that is not bad. As I said, it's try and be glass half full, and hopefully this is the kick up that we need to go again.
Just need to bounce back.
Exactly.
Need to regroup, chill out, and just bounce back, especially going in tomorrow.
They have to have the bit between their team against Millwall. Like Millwall is massive, lads. They've done us twice this season. Surely they can't do us again. Surely they can't.
Well, that's
hopefully not.
I'm gonna put you out like come Wednesday. If we lose, imagine the meltdown that's coming.
Yeah, well, I mean,
like, there's a serious meltdown coming. Like,
well, we could be toured. We could be toured by Wednesday because both Pony and Sheffield United play tomorrow. Then there's big pressure on that game, then, isn't there?
There's still going to be pressure, regardless. Like if they all win tomorrow night, that's just it's back to us again.
I mean, we'll obviously come on to that towards the end, obviously. But I mean, I did just want to get your opinions on the Portsmouth goal, because there's a lot of opinions flying about. Who's to blame? Is it Melier? Is it the defence? I have my own opinion. I believe it's a 50-50 split between the two. I think that Illan Melier's starting position is just all wrong. How he kind of comes out and then he does that thing where he hesitates and he retreats back and he can't really make up the ground in time to obviously close Colby Bishop down effectively. But then I also think as well, the fact that Joe Rodon's been caught off guard that badly to allow a simple ball over the top to just be unchallenged and it's an easy run through for Bishop. Everyone's kind of been hammering just Melier, which, don't get me wrong, I like a moan about Illan Melier as much as the next person. But I think in this instance, I'm not saying he's innocent in it because he's not. But I think the defence are also to be blamed for that, Darren. I don't know what you think, mate.
Yeah, 100%, Charlie. I'm down the middle. I think it's the book is always going to fall to the goalkeeper when a goal's conceded. You'll always look at the goalkeeper, but I think you do have to look at the passages of play before that. The midfield isn't strong enough with the through ball play through. He's far too easy. He's too much time to play the ball through. That's the one mistake we made. Our pressing yesterday and our closing down was really, really poor. We let them play the ball in behind them, behind Rodon. You can't be getting caught out like that. That is schoolboy defending from that to be that high. And Bishop is quick enough. Rodon we know is quick as well, but he's just completely blindsided. Rodon lets him go. That's the second mistake. And then, as you said, Melier, he's coming and he hesitates, retreats back, and then that gives the striker even more time then, to pick a spot, take a breath and put the ball in the back of the net, where really should be coming out like a train there. If he's making that decision to come out, your commitment, you have to come out and you have to, whether you're getting man or ball, you have to clean the whole lot over. And he doesn't commit. He dives at his feet and it's an easy finish and it's an easy dink over him. So it's a team goal conceded because it does start with the middle of the park. It starts then with the back line then with Rodon, who's all over the place. And obviously it ends then with Melier and the goalkeeper as well, who isn't committed in his decision.
Dilo, anything to add on that, mate? Or are you in agreement?
Yeah, definitely. I agree with Darren. I think, I can't remember what game it was. It was a similar goal that we lay in where the player came in behind Rodon and Stroke. before, so it's not the first time. So it's expected of. It's something that they need to work on and not switch you off for that simple minute or 2 or second. That's all it takes as a pass to be put in behind. Rodon should be doing better for me, to be honest with you. But then,
I agree.
look, it looks worse on Mez because considering all the howlers that he's made throughout the season. So I think that's where the fine line is. But I do agree with both of you. Mez, he just hesitates. Just as Darren said, take the ball.
He did that. He did that against Hull as well for the opening goal against Hull, where he kind of come out and then he retreated and it was just too late.
He's doing it throughout the season, Charlie. Throughout the season. To be honest with you. And all I keep getting is, we need to back him, we need to back him, we need to back him. I know we do now.
There's only so much you can back a guy when you try to get promoted, though. You know what I mean?
Way too much. It's just, I think his distribution, to be fair, I said it to Darren at half time. I actually thought he was okay at times.
I actually thought he had an all right game yesterday. I thought he commanded his box a lot better.
Much better.
Yeah.
That was the
his
positive
handling and punching was good.
But then had to let it down with a similar effect of what he always does, hesitates or just the easy parts of being a goalkeeper, if that makes sense. Not saying it anyway, I would probably say that. What I am saying is it's very easy to just for that split second, the ball is rolling to you, get out and get it. Any means.
I just think the thought of potentially starting a Premier League season next season with Ilham Elie in goal just sends a shiver down my spine, to be fair. I think there definitely needs to be investment there. I think regardless of what league we're in next season, to be honest with you, I really wouldn't have him either way. But yeah, I mean, we've kind of touched upon it, but we'll speak about Millwall a little bit now. Obviously, I'll be doing my own preview on it tomorrow night, but we'll get the lads' thoughts now. I mean, as you've both said, and I agree, I think every game's massive now, obviously, but this one, just for the added factor of the fact that we need to bounce back, we need to show a bit of bottle now. We need to show, I think, what we're about. As you said, Darren, earlier, they've done us twice this season, so there's a bit of payback due, I think. Obviously, the cup game, there was a lot of changes or whatever, but I just think how their fans especially acted after that, I think we owe them one, definitely. But I think if we can get a win, regardless of what happens in the Burnley and Sheffield United games, if we can get a win, I think it'll settle the nerves a little bit going into QPR, won't it?
Yeah, I think it's massive, Charlie, and I think with Burnley and Sheffield United playing tomorrow night as well, if they pick up a result, it's very much over to Leeds then, and then you're thinking international break then as well. If we're going into that international break in third spot where we haven't beaten Millwall as well, it's resting on them players' heads then, isn't it, then for what, 10 days then before we come back to QPR, and then by no means then QPR is a tough one away as well. So I think I'm confident that we do bounce back. I really am. Look, notoriously with this Leeds side, and you can only kind of go off stats. I try to leave the kind of Leedsy kind of, we always kind of bottle a kind of vibe at the door, even though it's always in the back of your head. We have
bounced back previously, haven't we?
We have bounced back notoriously. Every time this season, whether we've drawn or lost, we usually bounce back and we usually go on again, a couple of game win and run. And I think that's what we need. It's 10 games to go. It's 10 massive cup finals. 2 really, really big ones coming up, very, very tough ones. And I think Millwall probably would have felt a little bit easier if they hadn't done us, like what you said, Charlie, twice this season. But notoriously, again, with Daniel Farke, we do see that some managers do have the upper hand on him. We've seen it, with Russell Martin, John Eustace. He does have his bogey managers, doesn't he, as well? And I just hope Alex Neil isn't one of them as well. So, yeah, it's up to the players to go out and perform then under pressure on Wednesday. And it's either way, the pressure's going to be on them. Like what Dylan said, even, somehow of a miracle if Burnley and Sheffield United do slip up tomorrow night and, we kind of have the impetus to go there, it's still massive. It's still massive, Millwall. So we just have to...
I would argue if they both drop points tomorrow, then it's even bigger on Wednesday.
It's even bigger. It's even bigger for the players then to go do it. So, yeah, this is it. This is what you play, all through the season for, them 3 games in 6 days, all through the season, up and down the country as well. And, it's coming out the crunch time now, and it's who has the bottle, lads. And it's hoping that we do out of them top 3, that we're at least 2 of them, and we can get out of this division. It wasn't too long ago we were talking after beating Sheffield United that it's a title. You're seeing some of the fans singing champions again, and you're thinking in the back of your head it's a little bit early. It's only 5 points. There's a long way to go, and now it's not even top 2 secured.
I have to admit there, I think when Firpo scored against West Brom, I was one of those fans in Ellen Road that day that kind of got involved in the champion. But then I had to have a bit of a reality check and think, no, let's just leave it for now.
It's allowed. It's allowed.
Dilo, I think I agree with Skip's comment here. Though I think if they both win tomorrow, the atmosphere at Ellen Road could be negatively affected, I think. And obviously, I'll be at the game on Wednesday night. And I agree, especially with the section of the South Stand that I'm in. I think it'll be very tetchy if we're going into that in third. But again, this is what it's made of at this point of the season. Like, we need to see that these players are able to get the job done under pressure, don't we?
I think the boys will. To be fair, I really do.
I think we'll win. I think we'll win.
I think it's down to Fark as well, and all the players and the confidence and motivation. And then, as Darren said, Millwall, considering we lost two of them this season, but it's simply down to lads, including Sheffield United, Sunderland, and Burnley here, who wants it more. That's what this is going to be based off. Crunch time now, as you said. I'm not too worried. I think Leeds will grind out a win. I can see it being a tetchy game, but I think we'll get across the line. I'm more worried about QPR, if I'm being honest with you.
Yeah, I am.
That's the one I've been saying, banging this drum all season. I just think QPR and these bogey teams is what really, you could say, frustrates Leeds and frustrates us as fans. Why players weren't at it. Why Fark got the man management wrong. This is it. We just don't put it up against these bogey teams. So yeah, look, I'm optimistic. We'll see what happens. But Ellen Road needs to be just the 12th man on Wednesday.
Sometimes though, Charlie, and you'll notice in a couple of times that we've been over at Ellen Road in certain games that there's probably times when we are kind of under the caution. It's kind of Leeds against the world and backs against the wall. Ellen Road really kind of feeds into that. So it could go one way or another on Wednesday, couldn't it? I think we'll probably go into that game with a decent atmosphere, especially if one of them slip up tomorrow and we kind of know we need to go win. I do think it's if Millwall get an early goal, that's probably when
it's one of them, I think.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I think if Leeds get an early one, first couple of minutes, then I think Ellen Road will probably be rocking.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think at the start of the game, I think it'll be a very good atmosphere. I think regardless of what happens in the Burnley Sheffield United games, I think at the start of our game it will be good and it'll be loud, and obviously we'll try and make it as toxic as we can against them. But if we get 10 minutes in, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, and nothing's happening, the atmosphere will just go. It'll just start to teeter away. But again, hopefully we are able to get the job done. But one thing that gives me a crumb of comfort is the teams that all three of us have got to play in this running. And again, it's not played on paper. It is the Championship. But on paper, we've got the easier running, I would say. Burnley and Sheffield United have still got to play each other. So either way, someone's dropping points that day.
Yeah.
And I've got something in front of me here, which I've just pulled up from a group chat that I'm in. Burnley have still got to play 4 of the top 7 teams. And Sheffield United have still got to play 4 of the top 8, plus Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. So when you look at it like that, and I think Coventry are in great form at the minute, they've still got to play all 3 of those quite consecutively as well. So I think when you look at it like that, again, I'm kind of living on hope here. I think surely, I think there's a comment here from Skip, all 3 teams will drop points in this running. Yep. It's just about, as I think all of us have alluded to, who wants it more, who's able to bounce back. But I do think we beat Millwall in all honesty, especially that it's at Ellen Road as well. And given we're going into it on the back of a defeat, I think we've shown this season that we are quite good at bouncing back from disappointing results. And as Rich is saying, it is in our hands still. Only just, but it is still in our hands. So before we finish, lads, I'm going to ask you for a score prediction for the Millwall game. Darren, we'll come to you first. Score prediction and your goal scorers, mate.
I'm gonna go a very cagey 1-0 win. I think we get one early, and we'll
hold
grind it
on.
out. Yeah, we'll grind it out. You'll be in the south. You'll be in the south stand like this.
Yeah.
The last one. Scoreboard will go up
I'm like
6
that,
minutes at
yeah.
a time. You'll be like, oh, yeah.
I'm that
I
bad.
think-
Every time the opposition have hold of the ball, I'm like this. I'm like this. I can't watch, but yeah.
We'll be like that. Look, kind of looking out.
Who's your goal scorer, mate?
I want to see Pirro. I said it to Dylan. I want to see Pirro keep scoring because I'd like to see him get the golden boot and see us get promoted. I think that would be, especially the flack that he got last season and kind of the start of this season as well. I'd love to see Pirro go get the golden boot as well, just from his own personal. So yeah, I'll go Pirro.
Dilo?
I'm gonna go with I'm gonna say 3-1. I think we'll bounce back. I was gonna say 2-1, but Richie Boy 66 has it down already, so I didn't want to steal it. So I'd say I'm gonna say 3-1. I'm gonna say Pirro, James, and Nanto's gonna come on and get the third.
And I think if they are to score, I think it'll be a set piece or something like that. Because they've got they have got quite good aerial threat, haven't they? Especially from is it Jake Cooper, that absolute beast of a man.
Yeah.
But yeah, obviously I'll give my score prediction on my preview tomorrow. So if you want my thoughts on it, make sure you tune into that tomorrow. But like I say, guys, I think we'll leave it there. It's been a good one. Appreciate everyone that's dropped in tonight and shared all of your thoughts in the comment section. I've left the link to Only Leeds Bros channel in the description, so make sure you go check them out as well. And a big thank you to the lads for joining me. We'll try and make this a regular thing, hopefully, depending on schedules and stuff. But yeah, I've really enjoyed this one. As I said at the beginning, guys, make sure you're liking, commenting, and subscribing. And hopefully, it's a win on Wednesday, and we've got something nicer to talk about next time, lads. Hopefully, fingers crossed. Anyway, but
cheers for having us on,
guys. Big thank you for joining me, lads, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.